SoS, State of the School, Frank School, Camp Ranch Campus. The year's 2024, and this is the 43rd little video in this series. Now I'm going to jump back up into the woods, but now on the western side of this hill, and go to another source of water. And I named that, it's right at the property edge, about 200 yards up in the woods, and I name it Michael Weir. It can produce a lot of water at times, and in a normal year, it produces water all the year round. But with the drought last year, for months, it really wasn't providing any water. But as I say, normally it does. And rather than talk about when the water comes off it, then it goes over Joyce Falls is what I call it. Although Joyce Falls is not a clear single falls, it's a series of falls as the water drops to be able to get out into the field where I can then keep it on a level, on a perfect contour. And actually right where it does go onto the level, at that spot, there is still another site for a waterfall, a water wheel. It would be a fine one, but it would be up in the edge of the woods, and it wouldn't really be all that usable. And that water is much more usable once I get it to the barn. And that is just coming along what I call the Western Canal. And it's on the exact same contour line as the Eastern Canal, although the two don't join. They could actually, the water from one could flow into the other. If I brought it right, well, I did bring it around above this house where I'm sitting and on past the cherry tree house. I did physically meet them, but it's not useful so far to let them meet. However, that water, without electric power, without fossil fuels, that could supply a water supply to this house by gravity, and to the cherry tree house there by gravity as well, again in normal years. Well, as that water comes down, I irrigate, maybe, let me say, close to 10 acres. No, not that much, probably 7 acres of pasture out through all the way down to the road. At will. I mean, the canal leaks to some extent, of course, but most of that water does not leak from it, and I irrigate it with hatches. And by the time I get out here above this barn, again, in normal years, I've got a lot of water. A lot of times more water than I know what to do with, because I don't have the water wheels built yet and ready. But from that spot right up there, where the canal turns the hill, I need to come up with a name for that spot, because that's basically is like that's the prime spot to have water. If I've got water there, I've got water, and from there, then I'll tell you about the water wheels that it can drive after that. But I want to pause for a second to say, boy, this weather right now, my fingers are all covered with Band-Aids because you know how they crack in the cold. It's the coldest weather we're going to get over the next 2 or 3 days we've had in here probably decades. It'll go below zero. There's snow about that deep, which isn't that deep really, but again, it's more snow than we've had for a number of years. I'm really glad for the snow, because it'll replenish the water supply. And I also saw that the news indicates that La Nina has come, which might mean it'll be wetter. I just am hoping for a good spring runoff, that we don't have a situation like last year. But more of that later. But anyway, out and when you're a farmer or a rancher or whatever, I've got animals in the barn. I got to make sure they're warm enough. They've got baby goats. I've got 2 out there. The pigs, they pretty much huddle together, but I got to make sure that they've got food. And the wind's going to start I'm a busy guy dealing with the weather right now. Bye for now.